Today, we're going to take a look at the brand new Horus Heresy Legion Astartes Age of Darkness Army List book. This is the digital version of the red book that just released last week. Spiky bits. Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. Alright, man oh man, Forge World has come in clutch with two back-to-back digital releases for the Horus Heresy, of course, both of the red books. Well, I got a low battery, look out. Hopefully we can get through this video here. So, Forge World has come in clutch, two back-to-back digital releases. Of course, the red books probably won't see the black books, but you know what? That's okay, I feel like. Because this one gives you all the summaries and basically everything you need. The black books just kind of give you the fluff and, you know, a lot of like background and a lot of pretty pictures. But when you're at the tabletop, it's go time, you know what I mean? This is basically what you want. So you can tell it's, now I haven't got my paper copy because this actually came out at the exact same time as the paper copy. So that one, of course, is en route from England. So it kind of gives you an idea. This is the enhanced iBook version for, you know, the iPad or the iPhone. I guess it works just the same. Haven't tried it out yet, hoping it does. And then it gives you some ideas on how to use this book, like what all the little symbols and such mean. Don't use a whole lot of them, but they are in here. So here's basically how it starts out. Now, I know a lot of people out there are like, hey, I play Horus Heresy. WTF do I need to actually play with my Legion or whatever, okay? So that's actually kind of I guess kind of a loaded question at this point, because depending on what Legion you play, as long as you play one of the 13 Legions that didn't have any rules prior to Book 6, Retribution, then you're good to go. You can pick up the Legion Red Book and then also the Age of Darkness Red Book, and between those two, those have all the rules you need. This particular book here is the Age of Darkness Army List, and these give you all the rules for basically fielding armies in the Age of Darkness, all the comp rules. It's updated with all the FAQs. Hopefully it's digital now, so in the enhanced version, so if they put out any changes, it'll automatically download. Now I can tell you right now, the first, the Tagmata book, the digital book, has already received an update, and I already downloaded it. I actually didn't look to see what changed, but they are doing updates for it, so that's good to know, right? Now here, it basically gets into all the stuff, and some of this is updated. They actually say updated rules right here because they changed a lot of stuff back in January in the FAQ, from units to like different ways to actually field the stuff that you field. So now, let's get back to what is actually contained in here. This is all the generic units, the Rhinos, the Terminators, all the, you know, all the squads, all the troops, all the elites, all your vehicles, your drop pods, things like that that are generic to every Legion. The Legions book has all the Legion specific special characters, you know, different units, different, I guess you could say, vehicles if they weren't units, you know, stuff like that. That is all going to be contained in there. But together, they form Wild Stallions? No. Together, that's pretty much all you need on the tabletop as far as the Horus Heresy goes. So now, one last caveat: if you play Blood Angels, Dark Angels, or White Scars, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, White Scars, or somebody else who I don't know. Nope, that's them. Just those three. Those guys' rules are in Book 6 Retribution. Now, if you play or want to play Space Wolves or Thousand Suns, well, you're just SOL because the rules aren't even out yet. So, 13 Legions, good. Those 3 Legions I just named are in Book 6, and then the 2 last Legions obviously are coming out in Book 7, Inferno, this fall probably. And then we'll be all caught up. Woohoo! Sort of. I guess. I'm sure they'll find an excuse to keep making these daggone books because they sell so well, right? So anyways, back to the actual book right here, okay? So a lot of stuff, like I said, has been updated. Now, the reason I am so excited about these digital versions is because of the functionality. Like, you don't have to flip back. Like, back in Book 3, I think it was, I was looking for a special rule. I literally couldn't find this damn special rule in any of the Horus Heresy books. Finally, I found an obscure page in like Book 1 after searching for like an hour. And I was like, well, this was stupid. because I want to find the stuff when I need it on the tabletop, right? Well, what's so cool about this is you just basically click on whatever you need and it pops up. Like, for instance, the Engine of Destruction rule, they're basically explaining all of that right here. And then, like I said, you just click on it and it takes you right to where the specific rule is, or the list in that case, which is what those are, the suborbital strike wing. And these are all new rules as well. So, because remember, in Horus Heresy, games of the Age of Darkness, it's 25% rule for Lord of War. So if you play a 2,000 point game, you can only take 500 points of Lord of Wars. None of this formation crap, none of this whatever crap, right? So then it gets through all that section right here, and then it actually gets into the army list itself. And then here's some optional rules for doing, for the Force Org charts, and then it goes through all that in this section here. But we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. So we're going to zoom out and we're going to constantly show you the sections. So you got the HQ section, your elite section, all the normal stuff you would come to expect. You know, troops, dedicated transports. Like I said, all the generic stuff is in here. Fortifications, the actual core missions themselves, which is clutch, because yet another reason you don't need any other book on the tabletop. And then it gets into, you know, some commercialized stuff right there, which is no big deal. So going back to the first drop right here, I'm sure everybody already has these rules. We've reviewed all 6 books, you know what I mean? So like all of this information that's out there, and of course the first red book as well, we review both of those. Now the big thing is there's a lot of changes out there. Now Garo 30K, he's up on Facebook, he's also over on the 30K forums. He came up with a huge list of a lot of changes. Now we're going to try to run them all down, but I might not be able to get to them all. But we're going to try to basically kind of run through them real quick as far as all of the stuff that has changed. Because now there's some stuff that I don't know what all the abbreviations are. And, well, that's just not going to work. I wish this thing had a little kickstand on it. There we go. So let's start talking about that real quick. So you've got the Imperial Armors. Units in the Game of Age of Darkness rule has been replaced. Instead of any unit, it is now a fixed list of units. Also, your multiple characters, which are right here, or at least the start of it, you got your Praetors, and then you got your, where are they? There's your Rite of War, your Centurions, and that's pretty much, and then it gets into the consoles and the things that we hadn't seen in the past, actually in here, as far as some of the ones that, where are they? Well, they got all of them in here, and they're all laid out. The Mortats, the Dugard, and then the Herald Console. So, and then it gets into the Command Rhinos. So basically, there's stuff in here, like there used to be Must Be Warlord for doing Rights of War and things like that. They got rid of that. Now it's just basically you're either the Primarch or you're this guy, and that's pretty much the only way to field sort of things. Now we did see that there is a tank squadron upgrade where you can make it have command tank, which is 10 points higher, and I believe that was back in the beginning section, so we're not going to flip back to that quite yet. But here's that big functionality I wanted to talk about real quick. So, like, we all know what an infantry character is, sure. But say something like, oh, what's the Legion of Astartes special rule? I'm new to Horus Heresy. What does that do? And then basically you just open this up and you can scroll right through it. Unlisted Legions, lets you basically pick Furious Charge or Stubborn. And then it basically tells you, breaks it down all right in here, how it all works, like basically the faction thing. And if that's not enough for you, you can jump into the glossary index where it has all of the stuff for each chapter right here, or you can even go one step further and click on the index itself and look through all those beautiful special rules. There is so much stuff in here, it's pretty much bananas. And then at the bottom is stuff without a letter, which isn't too many, it looks like. So there's all that, and then we just hit done and we go back. So like I said, it's really awesome for clicking on things, and it just pops up and basically tells you stuff. Now the Mortat got nerfed. We saw that in the FAQ, and he's saying that plasma Volkite pistols are going to be the new go-to combination there. And we also saw that Mortats have a figure coming out here soon. The additional console squad members are -5 points, so they're actually basically throwing some stuff in there, which is nice. And the Legion Command Squad is -25 points as well. So it looks like it used to be 100 points right there. So that's kind of cool to see that he's really gone through and made notes of a lot of these changes. For veterans, it looks like the Veteran Tactical Squad is 25 points cheaper because they were pretty obviously. The veterans were super overpriced. Veteran Marines are now -3 points each. The veteran Terminator, or the Legion Terminator Squad, or veteran Terminator Squad, whatever you want to call it, has all the upgrades now for weapons and things, because the Terminators actually, a lot of their special rules changed in the FAQ, but also their weapon options as well. And then keep in mind too, some Legions can take additional things, like Imperial Fist and Blood Angels can replace certain types of weapons with assault cannons, which were new to 30k back in 30k. Tech Marines are neg 10 points each. And some servo automata have additional units joined to them as well. Apothecarion detachment had a list of units removed, but they can they basically kind of restricting. They may join any unit that has the latest Legion of Astartes that isn't in Terminator armor or have the demon roll. So that was kind of cool to see, because there was starting to be some mini Death Stars in Horus Heresy, and not a lot of people were okay with that. So that was good to see that they're pretty much right on top of that. They can also purchase jump packs and Space Marine bikes, so they can join units now, like the mobile elements, because they're making assault troops a little cheaper, a little better, because they weren't worth taking either. Now they're worth taking not only for the Blood Angels and their special abilities, which are in Book 6, but also for just generic, Legion Astartes in here as well. So the Legion Tactical Squads overall went down 25 points. The Assault Squads went down 75 points. Like I said, they were way overcosted. Nobody was taking them. It was bad. Nobody was taking them. So that's good to see. That's the troop stuff. So let's finish talking up the elites here. So you've got Dreadnoughts have the +1 attack. The FAQ came out and gave them all that. Volkite Culverins and the Contemptor Dreads can be replaced with the Twin Lake version of it as well. And Legion Rapier squads and Thun Guns have only frag rounds to start with. You can purchase additional rounds as in Book 6, including Phosphex. That's pretty dope. The Phosphex is super good. So Thud Gun Phosphex launchers, oof, it's gonna be brutal. And of course the Death Guard are gonna be all too happy to oblige that. Then we get into the troops section, which is right here. And like I said, you can always click on these and it brings it right up. And if you have any questions like, hey, what's Fury of the Legion? Well, Fury of the Legion lets you shoot a lot. Oh, okay, that's cool. I think I'll try that. I like to shoot my bolters a lot. Thanks, G-Dub. But some people don't know that stuff, so it's great to just be able to click right on it. So like I said, Assault Squads went down 25. 75. Tac squads went down 25. And remember, assault squads are actually troops in the Age of Darkness, which is really cool too. Breacher squads, neg 25 points. Additional Breacher Marines are 5 points each though. Don't ask me how the math works on that. Tactical Support Squad can take additional close combat weapon for 2 points, rotor cannon, or Volkite Charger upgrades. Those are now free. Okay. Reconnaissance Squad is neg 25 points base, because, well, let's face it, nobody was taking them either. As far as dedicated transports go, which I think are the next section. Yep, there they are. Legion Dreadnought drop pods are now 35 points. So that kind of makes sense, because Dreadnoughts are pretty good in 30k. Then we go over to Fast Attack, and we got Seekers are neg 20 base, which, again, another unit a lot of people weren't fielding, but now it's definitely worth taking them. And of course, if you had any questions about what they do right here, like, we know what Precision Shot is, but what's Implacable Advance? I don't know. Legion Terminator squads are always counted as scoring units. So, a little typo there, because these are not Terminators, so obviously they still count as scoring, which is really cool to see, because they're basically like Marine power armor scouts, so to speak, you know what I mean? So that's kind of cool, and then they get behind enemy lines and do all sorts of stuff. So like I said, additional Marines are +10. Sun Fury missiles on the Lightning are +10. Kraken missiles are 10. Phosphex bomb cluster is neg 10 points. Electronic magnetic bomb charges are neg 10 points. Tarantulas went up in price. Little sentry gun. Remember, these guys can deep strike, I believe. Let's see. You used to be able to just... Oh, it's the concealment thing now. You used to just be able to deep strike these things. Maybe it's deployment. Scout. Okay, so they can scout. Dedicated transport. Outflank. Shrouded. Concealment. Okay, well, they changed them a little bit. So they get a little bit of bonuses, and they can... you can move them around the table, and then they have... if they don't shoot the first turn, they get, I think, shrouded or something. Really cool stuff there. So they went up 5 points, but they lose the forward deployment, but they gained those rules we saw right there. Dreadclaw drop pods went up 15 points. They can only carry regular and contemptor dreadnoughts, not Leviathan or the radios. Land speeders went down, -10. Hunter killer missiles on the upgrade vehicles are -5 points as well, which 100 kill is always hit or miss proposition, I feel like. Javelins are -20 points, and they gain the strafing run USR, so they're hitting ground targets on a +2. And that looks to all be right in the heel. So there they are, 100 killer missiles for 5 points each. Okay, seems good. Now we go over to heavy support, and there's this new Sky Slayer support squadron, which is technically a new unit. I don't know what they look like. I mean, they say they're a jet bike, but whatever, I guess. We don't know. But it says they're jet bikes, so jet bike rules. So they're a little bit different from the, not the Javelin, but the, what is it, the Scimitar, the thing that looks like a peen. You know, the little Space Marine jet bike, they're zipping around the tabletop in a peen, basically. The regular jet bikes with multi-meltas come basic now. The base squad is 30 points over the normal jet bike squad. So don't ask me what's going on, but we'll probably see a future release from Forge Road, I would imagine. They can upgrade to Volkite or Plasma for cost, and all the squad must be the same. They can also take a Sergeant. The Deathstorm drop pod now has the automated weapons rule, which basically automatically shooting all units within range, enemy or friend when it arrives. So be a little careful with those. The Land Raider Phobos, one of those moons of Mars, is -25, and the Land Raider Proteus is also -20 points right there. So did a little mini compact Land Raider things. They give you a bonus to reserves. Where are they? Battle Squadron, probably right here. There they are. So the Phobos, I think, which one is it? The Phobos is pretty neat. Where do they give you the special rules? They should have their own. Oh, here it is. So the Achilles has the Ferromantic invulnerability, which makes it immune to melta weapons. This is just assault vehicle. Proteus. They used to have special rules. Oh my goodness, where'd they go? I don't know. So Land Raider Achilles can get Phosphex now. What? That's bananas. Command tank. Oh, there it is. The Explorator Augury Web. So that thing's cool against Scout. And then also it lets you get -1. You can do different modes. You can do +1 to your reserves, or your reserves can be rerolled, or the opposing force can have -1. So it's cool to see that they kept that. So that's 3 pages just on Land Raiders right there, right? Pretty neat stuff. The Achilles can take the Thud Gun ammo, same as the Rapiers, like we just saw right there. The Achilles Alpha can have additional ammo types, also saw that right there. Vindicators are now Squadron as in Book 6, and also obviously the 40k Space Marine Codex. Spartan went up 10 points. That's a lot. That thing's almost like, I guess to field it, it's 320 points now, because you always take it with the, what is it, the anti-melta armor. So it's probably 320 points to field right now. Laser Destroyers are free upgrades on the Spartan. Okay, well that makes sense. We'll take that. Flare Shield is +20. Can't argue with that. Flare Shield is bananas. It's probably one of the most OP things besides Phosphex in 30k. So it's good to see that they're kind of noticing that. The Sicaran Venator may take a second pintle-mounted weapon. The Sicaran itself went up 30 points and can take a pintle-mounted weapon. Charybdis is -25 points. That's that big Land Raider sized drop pod. The thing that's, I think it holds 20 dudes. It's ginormous. It's a great kit. $250 from Forge Roll, but it's a centerpiece of your army if you get one and put it together. The Duradio has a third arm option now. Heavy las cannons, Strength 10, AP2, Exo Shock. Exo Shock, if it scores a penetrating hit, then on a 4-up, a second automatic pen is caused, ignoring cover. That's good in the 30Ks. Maybe not so much in the 40Ks, but in the 30Ks it's good. Whirlwind Scorpius can take pintle-mounted weapons now. The Scorpius is basically the Whirlwind on crack. It's super good. Malcador is now heavy support, -25 points, which kind of makes up for the flare shield increase, let's be honest. Battle speed now allows it to fire its main weapon, top turret, at full ballistic skill before or after moving flat out. Yes. Squadrons of 1 to 3. Yes. Lots more war gear and basic stuff like pintle-mounted weapons. Okay, I can get behind that. Lords of War section. Oh, this is obviously my favorite section, because our war is all about some Lords of War here. So we got just a preview. There's not too many of them. The Cerebrus, the Typhon, the Falchion, the Stormblade, the Fellblade, and the Legion Glaive. Super heavy special weapons tank. So the Typhon is 45 points. It went up. which is disappointing to see because it's kind of like a one-shot wonder. And in 30K, it's okay, but in 40K, it's definitely not worth its points. Just it's so much to mitigate what it does, unfortunately. The Falchion went up 25 points as well, but the Falchion can take a neutron wave capacitor, which adds the feedback and shock pulse special rules to its volcano cannon. So it's basically a shadow sword. It's twin-linked that really wasn't worth its points back then, but now it seems like it might be worth its points because the feedback lets you get, it's kind of like the Sakaran Venerator special rule, and the shock pulse, I forget exactly what it does, but fortunately for us, we've got push button technology here today, dun dun dun, and we're going to find out what it does. May upgrade its twin link volcano neutron wave capacitor. Alright, I'll bite. So here's feedback. If a weapon of this type fails the penetration roll against target armor or fails a 2 wound against target model, roll a d6. The result is 1. You have a feedback. Oh, so it's a detriment. It's like gets hot. Okay, I remember that part. So it takes a hull point. But shock pulse, any vehicle that suffers a pen hit from a weapon with this type may only fire snapshots in the following game turn. Okay, I like that. I can get behind that. And then it talks about snapshots. So what adds the feedback and shock pulse rules? Oh, rules to the Falchion's volcano cannon profile. That's neat. So it's basically an upgrade for 35 points to its gun there. And the volcano cannon, it's small blast, I remember. Neutron wave capacitor. So what I'm wondering is there a weapon summary in here? We're discovering things together. Oops. Good thing I didn't have my 50 Shades of Grey book right there. It would have been embarrassing. Let's see. Appendix. No weapon appendix. Oh, here we go. Weapon summary. Booyah! Let's get that volcano cannon. V for volcano. Where you at, dog? Volcano cannon, Falchion, 120 inches, strength D, primary weapon 1, large blast 5. Alright, I'm digging that. AP2. Okay, yep, I can definitely get behind that as a weapon. So, obviously, Perturabo needs to be rocking one of those things around the tabletop there. So, that's the basic, all the changes. Then there's some Rights of War stuff. Orbital Assault changed. Dreadnought Contemptor Talons can take Dread Claws, or Dreadnought Drop Pods, unit Talons of 2 to 3. Rapier Batteries can also take Drop Pods. Okay, so that's cool. That's really neat to see. So, not too bad. I think the normal version of this is 32 pounds, I want to say, from Forge Rolls. Basically ends up being the same cost as Codex for, normal 40K. The digital version here, I think, was also the same price. I want to say it was $50, but I also had to pay tax. So, we'll go with $55 here in the great state of North Carolina. So, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully I helped clear up some of the changes here, courtesy of Garo, and also kind of show you why the enhanced version is so good, especially when you're on a tabletop and you care more about rolling dice than looking up rules, but you still want to know the rules, so to speak. So they got 4 of these bad boys out. Probably going to slow down from there. I can't really see them doing many more. So you got those 4 right there, the 2 Astartes ones, the Solar Auxiliaris one, and the Mechanicum one right there. So those are all really great books. You don't need all of them, but you definitely, if you're playing with Marines, you definitely need those 2 right there. Unless, of course, you're playing Space Wolves or 1,000 Suns. Then you're just going to have to get the Black Book when it comes out. There's no getting around it. Sorry, guys. That's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed my first look review of the new digital version of the Legion Astartes Age of Darkness Army List.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.